You're watching What Women Want with Revati Priya on Glow TV. You're watching What Women Want with Revati Priya on Glow TV. Today we chat to an individual who has many titles to her name, as well as she is the founder of Soul Sisters, Farida Jalal, as well as we welcome back Daniela, Simone, Keisha. Welcome to my show. Welcome back, Daniela. It's great having you back again this week. And Farida, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be in your show.
How have you both been?
I've been fabulous. It's COVID. We're taking precautions, but we've been safe.
That's good. And Daniela, how have you been since last week?
Same, what she said.
Farida, being the founder of Soul Sisters, could you share more with us about this platform?
Well, Soul Sister organization was given birth from the DSK group.
Okay.
We strongly believed it was a platform for gay people, transgender people, drag queens, where I could be a representative and the voice for the voiceless.
And what was your reason for starting this?
I wanted to be a role model to up-and-coming drag queens. I wanted society to accept us for who we are and what we are.
So the link with DSK and Soul Sisters is very much similar?
You see, when we started, previously on the previous show, you asked me about the organizations. The main organization is the Gay Fraternity. We broke away to create the DSK group and create Soul Sisters Productions, and then you get EWF Productions. You get lots of sister organizations that were created and run by our fellow comrades.
Right.
In this case, it was created more that she would pay attention to more transvestite, more drag artists. You understand?
Okay.
The drag part of it is a major part of the gay world. So we gave her that platform to use to promote the gay drag queens. On our platform, we promote everything. We don't focus just on one thing. Now, each of these sister bodies or these organizations that
broken
down to, created their number one platform. So Farida's with Soul Sister, her number one platform is to make sure that drag queens get the emphasis that they require or the attention that they need.
Could you elaborate to us and our viewers more about drag queens and their role and how they live their lives?
I think drag queens play a very important role in the LGBTQ. We as drag queens, we are performers, we are homemakers, and for us to be part of the LGBTQ system, I think it allows us a platform to express ourselves in a democratic, free South Africa.
Okay, so would you say that drag queens are the same as gay people, or?
No, definitely not.
Mind my terminology.
No, absolutely. You must remember, drag queen is drag artist, can be a drag illusionist, can be a female illusionist.
So are you able?
You don't have to be gay to be a drag queen.
Okay.
Do you understand? It's a drag queen is a man putting on a woman's attire to perform a function.
Okay.
Do you understand? And if you look at people out there that are doing stand-up comedians, you go to Las Vegas, the Demicays and all of them are straight boys.
Just dressing up.
Dressing up to perform that particular aspect.
Farida, whilst chatting to you before the show, you mentioned that you and Daniela had come from apartheid times, fighting the battle for the gay community at large. What difference do you see from apartheid days to post-apartheid now? Is there any difference?
While I'm a proudly South African drag citizen, we have just celebrated Freedom Day. Has South Africa done much for the drag community? My answer would be yes and no. Yes, we are part of the South African Constitution in the sense of the Same-Sex Marriage Bill of Rights.
Right.
But when it comes to our so-called communities, we are made a mockery at.
Daniela, what input do you
I
have?
have to agree with Farida. As much as we have the same sex and discrimination of sexual orientation forbidden, and it's part of the constitution, we also have to agree to the point that we have so much happening for us. We have platforms now. We can do drag shows now and not be where function eyes are closed down because of having gay functions and all of that. But we, on the other hand, as much as we have all the positive side from post-apartheid and all of that, the negative side of it is that we still get mocked. Our people still getting abused. Our children, gay children, when I mean our children, I mean the ones that are in the closet and are coming out with their parents are being beaten up, abused, in every sense of the word. So I have to answer as though Farida said, it's a yes and a no, because we have the positive side of it, yes, and negative side. And no, the positive side is not beating the negative side. It's a balance of 50-50, in my
Okay.
opinion.
So not much change.
Not much change.
Farida, getting a little personal with you, and I hope you don't mind me asking you this. At what stage in your life did you discover or realize that you were gay and this is the path that you want to follow in your life?
Well, as a 5-year-old boy, I realized that some boys loved playing soccer. I loved playing dress up. So during my adolescent years, I discovered that I had feelings for the same sex. At first, I was afraid to express myself. It took me a bit of time to realize that I was gay. Reality would set in. I had to love myself for me as an individual. So I realized I had the willpower to love whoever I wanted to, and that was boys.
If you don't mind me asking, how old were you?
I was about 14.
Okay, so fairly young, and I'm sure that at some point you would have had to go to your parents. Were you still at school when you went to them?
I waited to matriculate when I matriculated, and there comes a point in your life, coming from a very orthodox Muslim community, mother was very old-fashioned,
Right.
but installed good morals and values within me and my siblings. So one of the values she installed was trust and honesty. So I would play with those words to her. And when it came to the marriage part of you finding a girl, settling down, I was honest enough to say that I was gay.
Okay, and while you were at school, did you have relationships?
To be honest, not with a girl, because when I was in school, I was the first drag queen to attend school in female's uniform.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think
She got
what?
sent home, but it's not all good and rosy. She got sent home, but she did it every week until such time.
They gave up.
I don't think they gave up, because it was the metric year that she did it in. So it was time for trials at the end of that year, you know?
Okay.
So she, every second day, Farida, what's happening? I'm in drag. Farida, what's happening? I'm in drag. Farida, they're sending you home. And it became like everywhere, everyone. You open a newspaper, drag illusionist, drag queen.
Oh my
Farida.
word.
It was everywhere. It was in every. At that time, we didn't have social media like we do now with Facebook and.
So it was
all of that.
newspapers.
It was every newspaper. Every time we turn, this girl is doing something, and that's how we became acquainted.
Okay.
I called and I said, right, Farida, I am supporting you in this venture. Let's go forward.
Because I had a dream at that given time. My dream, I was never going to go as a boy to my metric prom.
Right.
I was going to go as the elegant diva that I am today.
And remember,
And did you?
Yes, I did.
And remember, that was my dream. I wanted to have my roti boy in my hand and going for my favor, you know? And I couldn't. So I could get my comrade, my daughter in the gay world, to.
And she did
And
it.
she did it. So she carried the torch and I loved it.
So my next question to you is, how did your parents react? Were they the first people that you opened up to?
The first person I opened up was to my mom. At first, she was a bit sad. It's enough for every mother to cry.
Right.
But it took her years. It took her years to accept me as a drag queen. But my biggest supporter from day one was my loving sister. And till this day, she supports me. And it took the family a bit of time to accept my lifestyle as an individual. My mother became comfortable. My home became a drag home.
Wow.
Where young drag queens could not dress at home, and
They would come to you.
They would come.
And you know, if I can say something here, this is the joke that we share with our sister and our families. That time we didn't have cell phones.
Okay.
So we had to call a landline. So when I pick up the phone, someone will greet me on the other side and then mom will answer. I'll say, hi mom, how are you? Who's this? I'll say, it's Daniela. Can I speak to Farida, please? She says, Farad, someone's calling you. Who's this calling you, Farida? And eventually, everyone, because of me, and she'll tell you that, and everyone will tell you that, because we stuck it, there was no way they could change it. You know, every time we call somebody, can I speak to Farida? Farida Jalal is going on stage. Farida Jalal is everywhere. Just like how everybody knows me as Daniela, Simone, Keisha, that's what they did to Farida. Farida became a household name. Because if you go to the charity fairs, the Phoenix charity fair, she's on stage. If you go to the gay Oscarettes, she's on stage. You know, she made herself famous,
Yes.
and everybody knew it.
So we're going to take a break and we'll catch you back in a few minutes.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place is much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. I'm gonna love you when there's no one around. I will protect you, lift your feet off of you when there's no one around. I will protect you, lift your feet off the ground.
Welcome back to What Women Want with Revati Priya on Glow TV. Welcome back, Farida and Daniela.
Thank you.
So going back to you coming out into the world about being gay, Farida, what were some of the things that you had to discover on the path of being comfortable and being happy with just being you?
Well, I think the first step in life, I had to face reality and accept my sexuality. I had to accept me for me. And at that given time, I've realized this is a path I want to go down. This is me. I cannot change for anybody. So I've realized I was gay. So I took it with a pinch of salt. I digested it. And from there, my journey began.
And tell me, going back to the reactions of your parents and how they dealt with it, how did your friends and colleagues deal with you being gay?
Well, my friends and colleagues, everybody, it was not a shocker to them because I was very flamboyant and very feminine at that given time. And they were very supportive throughout my journey.
So also in the Indian community, there's a stigma attached to a child being gay, an Indian child being gay. Would you say that there's much difference in a Muslim home?
Well, in a Muslim home, everything is done by the book.
Yes.
I would challenge the Muslim community in the sense of my beliefs that I am gay, for one, and I think it took a bit of time for people to accept gay people.
Yes.
In
general.
In general. And Islamically, it's not permitted to be gay. But at the end of the day, I beg to differ. I was born this way.
Okay, and how important is it to have a support structure when coming out into the world?
I think it's very important to have a support structure because it helps one individual to build good self-esteem. Uh, you look at people as role models, and at that given time, if you have a good structure, you believe in yourself.
Daniela and Farida, what types of structure and support do you need when coming out into the world?
You definitely need financial status, financial stability. You got to know where you're going to stay. You got to know who's going to be there for you. You got to have social workers. You got to have psychologists.
I'm guessing because not in all
Not just everyone,
cases
that's the same.
are accepting.
Some people come out of their houses without nothing. They just thrown out of the houses. That's it. So we tend to place them in homes, and then we try to educate them. We try to set them up with interviews, and make them understand the way of life. But then you get people who are abused in their house, and we are forcefully removing them. Meaning we get the social workers involved, we get the police involved. So we forcefully remove, and now those children need more attention. They need to see a psychologist, they need to see, talk about it, they need to go through the phasings, you understand?
Yes.
So different situations, different cases, but we do have the people, even if we can't do it ourselves, we get the people and professional people to help us, to place them.
And how do you deal with people's negativity when they see you dressed up as drag? I know you mentioned that you dress up as drag only once a year. And Farida, you dressing up in drag on a daily basis. So when walking into a mall, or Daniela, when they see you dressed up once a year, they usually used to seeing you dressed in this attire. How do you deal with the negative comments?
Well, I have to tell you, we laughed at each other because we have to tell you this. I dragged in 2000 for one of the shows, and I was asked to be a judge. I dragged for the show. I went as Daniela, but I didn't use my name.
Okay.
At that time, I just used Keisha. I didn't use, Daniela Simone Keisha. I just used Keisha. My uncle was hitting on me. Only to realize that it's me. So yeah, sometimes we do have a hilarious outcome.
Yes.
But on other times, we get them who snigger and say, "Check the Murphy walking past. Hey, check there. She's a drag queen. She's a Murphy. And we have to live with it. And like Farida said, we don't really pay attention to it anymore. It kills us. We'll never give you the satisfaction of crying in front of you. None of them. But we go home, yes. It's that one word we can't get out of. No matter who you ask, whichever gay person, homosexual person you ask, throughout the whole world, that word just sickens us to the core.
So that's mostly the approach that you get when dressed up in drag. Negatives.
Not all negative.
We do get negatives, but I take the negatives and make it into a
Positive.
Because at the end of the day, I'm sitting here on the couch with you, and I am the legendary diva, but I strongly believe we get all sorts of people, which we need to respect some people's feelings, but at the end of the day, we are what we are. As Daniela would always say, we don't need your approval, we need your acceptance.
So, like I was saying, with you being dressed up in drag on a daily basis and going into a shopping mall or going to work for that matter, how do they react?
Well, I think the younger generation needs to be educated. I think coming back in the 90s and 20s, a little have been educated. But me being a familiar face, most of the community people know me random, so I don't have a hustle anymore.
So what are some of the things that you are able to do to overcome the negatives?
I think, talking to myself, and sometimes also, is talking about it. We have a bad week, we end up phoning each other, we end up sitting over a glass of wine and pouring out our emotions getting up the next day and doing it all over again. Because we can't be always down.
You can't stick on it.
You can't. And we have to get rid of it. Because if we take all the negativity and carry on, it's going to consume us. And it did that for a very long time of my life. And some people were lucky, like Farida and all were lucky that their parents accepted her, her mother accepted her. With me, it was my father first, who didn't, and then my mother did. So it's different in every occasion. But at the end of the week or end of that day, I sit down, I analyze, process, what did I do wrong? Did I provoke the person? At one stage in my life, I used to ask myself, did I provoke that person for calling me a morphine? Did I provoke that person for being nasty to me? Just me walking down the road or just me going to a shop in drag makes a problem. Do you understand?
Yes.
But now it's different. Farida is a household name, majority. Malaka Khan, Tershan, Auntie Sheila. They're household names. Do you understand?
Yes.
And people have accepted it. But we still have that one group of people that would not, that will still throw. So I say bring it on, throw it. What doesn't kill you?
Makes you stronger.
Makes you stronger.
So, what is the link between DSK and Soul Sisters? How do you work together?
We work every day together. It's just that she's in another part of the world, another part of the city, should I say, and I'm in another part of the city. So I do from charity drives, as you know, I do for across the board. Pet drive, charity drives, children's care packs, COVID packs. She pays attention to drag artists that are coming out. She pays attention.
So you offering those things to drags and
Correct.
transvestites.
Correct.
Okay. Farida, what advice can you give individuals that are wanting to come out or wanting to be drag queens?
You need to be comfortable in your skin for one. You need to love yourself. If you love yourself, you can withstand anything. Remember, it's a journey. First, you're a drag princess, then you become a drag queen.
So, chatting to Daniela earlier, she mentioned to me that a drag queen is known as a queen, not defined as a drag queen.
We're queens.
So we can see that Farida dressed up like a queen. So thank you so much for joining me on my show today, the both of you.
No, thank you for letting us come on.
I look forward to chatting with the two of you and the rest of our panel in the coming weeks, the coming 2 weeks, it being Gay Pride Month. So I wish you both a very happy Gay Pride Month, what the remainder of whatever is left. But to end off, Farida, how are our viewers able to get in touch with Soul Sisters?
You can get in touch with Soul Sister Productions via the DSK group.
Well, you can get us on the Facebook page, DSK Group, and email us on dskgroup.health@gmail.com or contact me directly on 0786 886623.
Thank you so much once again for joining me on my show, the both of you. Thank you for watching What Women Want with Revati Priya on Glow TV. Catch us next week, same time, same place for more gripping stories. Today's show is sponsored by DSK Group. Wishing you all a very happy Pride Month.
We serve it just the way you like it. Hot, spicy, crispy, delicious. Fill up, fresh up at Caltex Gateway Fresh Stop.